Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with Chapter 7, The Boggart in the Wardrobe. The defense against the dark arts classroom. The room is vast, filled with shadows, but the center of focus is the massive, antique wardrobe. It's shuddering, the wooden doors groaning as if something inside is physically battering the locks. Professor Lupin stands calmly to the side, his worn, patched robes emphasizing that he is a teacher who has actually lived his curriculum. In The Prisoner of Azkaban, J.K. Rowling shifts the tone of the classroom. Before this, teachers were either clowns, Lockhart, or tyrants, Snape. Lupin is the first true mentor. He doesn't begin with a test or a lecture, he begins with a practical, hands-on demonstration. He explains that the Boggart, while terrifying, is a simple-minded creature. It doesn't have a true form, it is a mirror of the observer's own subconscious. The class is a mix of terror and anticipation. Lupin sets the rules. The charm that repels a Boggart is simple, yet it requires force of mind. You must concentrate with all your might on the thing you find funniest in the world. He emphasizes that the wand work is secondary, the power is entirely in the humor. The students line up in a single file. As each student faces the wardrobe, the Boggart shifts. The cinematic language here is fast, visceral, and slightly unsettling. The lesson acts as a psychological inventory of the class. Ron sees a giant, 8-legged spider. He uses Riddikulus to give the spider roller skates, causing it to slip and tumble in a chaotic, slapstick display. Seamus fears a banshee, which he forces to lose its voice, turning it into a croaking, toothless old woman. Parvati fears a mummy, which she trips with a loose bandage. The book focuses on the Neville Longbottom arc. Neville is the class underdog. His fear is Snape, the very teacher who has spent 2 years terrorizing him. The Boggart Snape emerges, towering and sneering. Neville's wand shakes, but his voice is firm. He forces the Boggart to wear his grandmother's vulture-topped hat, red handbag, and fox fur scarf. The classroom erupts in laughter. In that single, brief moment, Neville has reclaimed his own agency, stripping away the power of his greatest bully. The energy in the room shifts. The warm, amber light of the classroom begins to bleach out. The floor temperature drops rapidly, frosting over. Harry steps up. The wardrobe door flies open, and the creature doesn't take the form of a person or a monster, it takes the form of a void. The Boggart becomes a Dementor. This is the pivotal moment of the chapter. Harry's fear is not a concrete object, it is the absence of experience. It's the sound of his mother's death, the cold of the train, and the feeling of hopelessness. As the Dementor Boggart emerges, all ambient classroom noise vanishes. We hear only Harry's shallow, ragged breathing and the high-pitched ringing of his own traumatic memories. Lupin realizes immediately that he cannot let Harry face this alone, it's not a joke anymore. He steps in, and the Boggart Dementor transforms into a silver, floating moon, a ridiculous image of confusion. The wardrobe is sealed. The classroom is silent. The students are dismissed, their laughter dying down to a murmur. Harry stays behind, clutching his wand, his knuckles white. Lupin is cleaning the chalk from the board, his back to Harry. Harry feels like he's failed. He believes that because the Dementor caused him to pass out on the train and stopped him from casting the charm in class, he is fundamentally lesser than the others. Lupin's response is the most profound moment of the chapter. He doesn't coddle Harry, he gives him the truth. I didn't think it was a lack of courage, Lupin says. I think it is that you have seen things that most wizards will never witness in a lifetime. He acknowledges the reality of Harry's trauma. This creates the bond that defines the rest of the book, the relationship between a man who knows what it means to be a monster and a boy who is forced to fight them. Neville conquered his fear with a cardigan, but Harry learned that some fears go much deeper than a simple joke. The Boggart wasn't just a lesson in defense against the dark arts, it was a glimpse into the soul. What did you think of the way Lupin handled Harry's encounter? Comment below, and if you had to face a Boggart, what would it turn into? Hit that subscribe button, unlock the vault, and join us next time as we look at the lighter side of the year in Chapter 8, Flight of the Fat Lady.